go. There we go. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure we are live here. Let's make sure we are live here. Yes, sir. All right. Make sure everything's all copacetic. Everything looking good. Good. All right. Just want to make sure we're live everywhere right now. Give me 1 second. We live on the OBTubes. Are we live? Let us make sure we are live. Let's see here. Let's see here. All right. Yeah. Give me 1 sec. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Just gotta edit some stuff here. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's make sure we're all set here. We're live on the OBTubes. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Taco Tuesday. You already know what time it is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. All right. All right. Marty says good morning, Doubles and Banger Nation. Good morning, Marty. Good morning. Hold on 1 second. Mmm. Mmm. And some good orange juice. Ooh. You never go wrong with starting the day off right with some orange juice. I tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you what. Let's make sure the audio works. There we are. Beautiful. All right, all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, today I'm currently taking a look at TNMG, ticker symbol Tango November Mike Golf. And basically, I'm just taking a look at this right here. It had a nice run earlier in the day at 148%, 148%, and had a nice run, ladies and gentlemen. It had a nice run. Bobo Beep says, howdy, howdy, Bobo. He says, I'm hearing you leaving Charlie. Copy that, Bobo. Copy that. Yes, sir. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day, and hope you guys are going to have a wonderful Taco Tuesday. You already know what time it is. You already know what time it is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. But yeah, as of now, TNMG had a nice run. This is a Japanese stock. It did have some movement going on. Ran up a nice 148%. 148%. Hold on. And yeah, it's been moving pretty well, all things considered. I mean, it pulled back afterwards, obviously. Now it's currently 97%, but it did have a 2 million float, 105 million volume. That's what they had going on right there. That is what they had going on with the stock. So it actually had some decent movement going on there. Before a little bit of a pullback there. MOVE was also moving. It actually had some movement going on there as well. It ran up 100%. RAIN was another one. RAIN actually moved up yesterday, towards the end of yesterday, and then continued to move up today. RAIN, alright, it was picked up on the scanner prior to its run up 203% yesterday. Actually, excuse me, 260% yesterday, and then it was picked up on the scanner this morning prior to its run up 156%. So we had that going on right there. That was another one that we had going on right there. RAIN, this one has actually been moving for the past day and a half now. So it did move up in after hours yesterday, and then it started moving up again today. So yeah, that's what we got going on right there. Let's make sure I'm live on the TikTok, tiki-taki. Let's take a look. All right, let's see here. Let's see. But yeah, as of now, that's just been what's going on. That has been what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah. All right. All right, all right, all right. Hold on one second. Okay. Good, good. All right. Marty says, good morning, Bobo. Yes, good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. All right, good morning. All right, let's get everything all set up and ready to go. Let's get everything shared. Let's get the share party going on. Let me just make the announcements here. Let me just make these announcements over here. Boom. All right, just got to make some announcements here, and then we'll be all set and ready to go. But yes, TNMG as of now has been moving up relatively well. Needs more volume, obviously. You know, you can never go wrong with more volume, especially now. You take a look at the volume; it has been moving downward in terms of volume, so it needs more. It needs more volume to really curl this way on up. MOVE is actually moving past it right now, so we'll see what happens. MOVE might be curling. All right. Nick on Facebook says, good morning, Double Nicks. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope you're making lots of money. Money, 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 money. Money, money. Yeesh. So, yeah, that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. All right. All right, all right, all right. So, yeah, as of now, everything's looking good. How's you guys' morning going? Let me know. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know how you guys' morning is going. What how's your morning? Is everything good? Everything good? You guys ready for Taco Tuesday? I know I am. I'm ready for that Taco Tuesday. You already know what time it is. Can never go wrong with some tacos. All right. All right, all right, all right. Alright, but yeah, no, everything's looking schmexy right now. Schmexiness, you know what I mean? Alright. So actually, let me get this over here. Let me draw this little pattern over here. Boom. Alright. So, as of now, TNMG has formed a bit of a descending wedge. A little bit of a descending wedge going on with TNMG. Needs to break above that descending wedge and also needs to break that VWAP there as well at 73 cents for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. So let me put that up here. TNMG, Paradigm. Paradigm, hello, hello. Hello, hope you're having a wonderful morning, Paradigm. Good morning. Yes. Alright, TNMG needs volume. She says, good morning. Yes, good morning. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, Paradigm. Hope you're doing well. That is the Coach Meister General's teammate, as well as my teammate, too. She's my teammate, too. But yes, Legal says, good morning, Double Nicks. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful morning. Hope you guys are making lots of money. Hope you guys are just enjoying your morning, having a good time, getting ready for Taco Tuesday. Because you know, Taco Tuesday is always a thing that one should be getting ready for. It's a weekly event. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, ooh, no taco. There are two types of people in the world: people who have tacos on Tuesday and people who don't have tacos on Tuesday. Don't be the latter. Be the former. TNMG needs volume to break the descending wedge as well as the VWAPA at 73 cents for it to be so much messy to me. Otherwise, not particularly my kind of stock. Needs to break that descending wedge. Bull pattern right there. Paradigm puts a bunch of tacos up. Yes. Yeah, see Paradigm? Paradigm knows what's up. Paradigm knows what's up. Yes, sir. She knows, man. She knows. All right. All right, MOVE. How's MOVE doing in the meantime while I'm getting all the announcements out? How's MOVE? MOVE, let's take a look over here. MOVE ran up to 120%. Corvex shares are trading higher after the company announced it signed a multi-year agreement to provide clusters of NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs connected to with NVIDIA Quantum 2 Infinity Band networking to a leading AI company. So they got that going on right there. This is an American stock, currently up 108%, ran up a nice high of 120%. Currently on a bit of an uptrend here, but it's a bit choppy with these little wicks over here, so I'm going to put this over here. This is a little bit of a resistance right over here at $22.85. Has to break that $22.85 resistance line. It is well above the VWAP, which is good. You can never go wrong with that. All right, and also it does have some support at 21.73. Has to break above the high of day at 25.12 for it to be somewhat interesting to me. But otherwise, not entirely interesting there. You know what I mean? Not entirely interesting. So we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see. We shall see. All right. So MOVE, MOVE, our private Discord scanner picked it up prior to its run up 120%. Currently on the uptrend and needs to break resistance line at, what was it, 2285 for it to be somewhat interesting to me, to be somewhat schmexy to me, you know what I mean? Yes sir, yes sir. All right, that's MOVE, MOVE. There we go. All right. Alrighty. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes. Hold on, let me just put this up here. Let me just put this up here for you. Alright, let me just share it up here. Give me 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a share party going. Let's get to 100. 100. CCCF asks for AMIX. We'll take a look at AMIX in just a second. Let me just put this stuff up over here, and we should be beautiful. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Alright, boom. There we go. This, let me just put the announcement up on X and we should be good. Hold on 1 second. Yes. Alright. CCCF says yes sir. Of course, brother. Of course, of course. 1 second. 1 second. Hold on. There we are. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So, in the meantime, let's take a look at AMIX. AMIX for CCCF. All right. AMIX. All right. So, AMIX actually had a bit of a price spike over here, showing a bit of a resistance just above the VWAP right over here at $6.42. Has to break above that. That is one of the resistance points right there. Has to also break above 645 and 737, which is the high of day. So first things first, it really needs to hold above the VWAP at 603. Needs to break above the first line over here at 642, 645, and then 637. For it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Otherwise, it's just you know how it is, ladies and gentlemen. You know how it is. All right, so AMIX as of now, let's take a look at the float. Let's take a look at the float. Hold on, let me get the float over here. Actually, AMIX has the float right over here. AMIX has a relatively low float, 525,000. Volume, on the other hand, is 9 million. So it does have a low float, but a very, very good volume on it because the volume is higher than the float. That means that the demand, that the supply is higher than the demand, which, you know, you never go wrong with that stuff right there, you know. The demand, actually, excuse me, that means that the demand is higher than the supply. So basically, you know, the stock has a better chance, in my opinion, of at least going up, you know. So that's always good right there. All right, so float is again 525,000, volume is 9 million, and of course it has to break above $6.42 for it to really be somewhat schmexy to me. Then after that, it has to break above the resistance line at 645 and then 737, which is a higher day, for it to be schmexy to me. But the thing about this stock is it also has some unconfirmed Q1 earnings due in 13 days from now on Monday, August 17th after market close. So you got that going on. Currently up 69%. Nice. Anyways, and it has to break above $6.42. So that is the first thing it has to do. It has to hold above that VWAP at 603 and needs to break above the resistance line at 642. So that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. So let's put that up there. AMIX needs volume to break above the resistance line at $6.42. All right. Needs to hold above the VWAP at $6.03 as well for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Yes. Up 69%. So that's AMIX. AMIX, as of now, right, is a bit overbought in the RSI as well. It is a little bit overbought in the RSI, so it really needs some movement to really break above that resistance line and then break above that higher day. Once it breaks above that higher day, it's really nice and schmexy to me. But it has to break above the resistance line at 642 for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. You know what I mean? There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let me take a look over here. 1 second. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hold on 1 sec. And all right. All right. Beautiful. All right. Let me put this over here. Let me put this over here. All right. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. And it looks like Amix pulled back. Not schmexy. Not schmexy. Again, has to hold above that 602, which is a VWAP. Otherwise, not schmexy. So, yeah, has to hold above that. Has to hold above that, but otherwise it's pulling back down. I mean, could potentially be forming. It could also potentially be forming this right over here. It could be potentially moving up and then forming a bit of a descending wedge. Maybe, but we'd have to see. We'd have to see. It has to hold above $5.41. Break above 587, 642, then 645, and then finally 737. That's what it would have to do for it to be somewhat interesting to me. Otherwise, not schmexy. Has to break above that descending wedge. Has to break that descending wedge right there. All right. Let's take a look at TNMG. TNMG. All right. TNL Media Gene shares are trading higher after the company announced that its wholly owned subsidiary Infoban entered a partnership with Miro, or Miro, whatever they call it right there. But basically what they're doing is, the first things first, they have to break above the 73-cent VWAP over there for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Has to break above 73 cents because that's where the VWAP is. If it doesn't break above the VWAP, not too interested. You know what I mean? Needs to break that VWAP first. That is step one to me. Otherwise, just not too interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Not too interesting right there. So, TNMG. All right. All right, TNMG was caught on our private Discord scanners prior to its run, up 148% right there, prior to its run up 148%. Needs to now break the descending wedge and the VWAPA at 73 cents. Needs to break the descending wedge and the VWAP at 73 cents for it to be so much maxi to mia. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Okay, beautiful. All right, let's take a look over here. Oh, let's also mention RAIN, R-A-I-N. R-A-I-N. That was another one that ran quite a bit. R-A-I-N. Hold on. R-A-I-N. Was caught yesterday on our private Discord scanner prior to its run up. How high did it run yesterday? I believe it was 260. Yes, 260%. And was then caught once again this morning on our private Discord scanner prior to its run this morning up 161%. 161% right there. So there we go. Kingpin, good morning. He says CYCU looking good above 105. Got to take a look at it then. I'll take a look. I'll take a look in just a second. All right, let me just take a look at RAIN real quick and see how it's doing. Right now it's probably moving down. All right. But it did have a nice run earlier in the day. Had a nice run up 161% earlier in the day. Pulled back. Needs to break the downtrend and needs to break the VWAP. Now needs to break the downtrend and the VWAP, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right, all right, all right. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. CYCU. Let's take a look at CYCU because Kingpin mentioned CYCU looking good above $1.05. All right. Let's take a look over here. Ooh, it is well above the VWAP. VWAP is currently at 88 cents over there. Needs to break above this little resistance right over here at 96 cents as well that it formed. All right. Let's get this over here. Needs to break above 99 cents, which is the high of day right here. Has to break above this 99-cent mark over here. All right. And hopefully it could get to this $1.05 mark like our friend Kingpin over here has mentioned. I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Currently, CYCU had a shot upward, formed a little bit of a descending wedge right over here. Needs to break this descending wedge for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. It has to break above this resistance line at 94 cents, and then 96 cents, and then finally 99 cents, which is the high of day as of now. So we'll see what happens there. We shall see what happens there. Let's take a look here. CYCU, and it also has some unconfirmed Q2 earnings due in 13 days on Monday, August 17th, prior to the market open. So we'll see what goes on there. CYCU needs volume to break the descending wedge and the VWAPA, excuse me, not the VWAPA, needs to break the descending wedge and the resistance line at 94 cents right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. There we go. Accor says, hold on, I'm trying to read it. You don't know what who's saying. Oh, all right. I don't know. Accor said, I don't, my Arabic is kind of rusty, so bear with me. I think it says I don't know what he's saying. Oh. Alright. Anyways, AMIX. Let's take a look at AMIX right here. AMIX, let's take a look. Has to hold above that 541 mark and has to break above 587 for it to be somewhat interesting to me. Otherwise, not too schmexy to me as of then. So we'll see what happens there. We shall see what happens there. Alright, AMIX needs volume to break the descending wedge and the resistance line at $5.87 for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Otherwise, Alright. There we go. Alright, one second. Alright. Anyways, let's see here. Let's see what other stonks you got. And ladies and gentlemen, if you got any stonks you want us to take a look at, put it in the chat. 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Ladies and gentlemen. I'm back. 1 second. Hold on. Let me see here. Let's get a share party going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the 400. Alright. Let's get to 400. Alright. Okay. Alright. Hold on 1 second. Just gotta make sure everything's copacetic here. Alright. Beautiful. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 400. Let's get it. Alright. So, let's take a look over here. We're going to take a look at MOVE, see how it's doing. MOVE, pulling back a little bit. Has to hold above $19.63. Break above the VWAP at $20.71 for it to be somewhat interesting to me. Otherwise, you know how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see what we got going on here. MOVE.
Kingpin on YouTube said, "What's up?"
Yep. No, we said what's up. We said what's up.
All right.
Yes, he mentioned CYCU. Yes, sir. MOVE. Let's take a look over here. MOVE. All right. MOVE needs volume to break above the descending wedge and the VWAPA at $20.71. That is the first step that it has to really take for it to be back into being somewhat schmexy to me. All right. Hold on. What? All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me 1 second. 1 second here, real quick. 1 sec. All right. All right. All right, here, ladies and gentlemen. 1 sec. Let's get this over here. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right. Banger Nation on TikTok. The Banger Nation on TikTok says, "Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning." All right. Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. All right. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loots, the cash, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our merch store. We got a merch store going on over here, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a merch store, so be sure to check that out. We got all sorts of cool stuff. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we've got caps, we've got all sorts of other wonderful stuff. We got, for example, we got mugs, or cup and handles as I like to call them. We got the wonderful, we got little tumblers, we got stickers, we have mouse pads, all sorts of cool stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure to check all that stuff out by clicking the link right over here or in the pinned comment section. Click the link in the pinned comment section or the description down below to check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check it out. And of course, check out our new 3-month deal that comes at a discounted rate of $66.67 per month, charged quarterly for the wonderful deal. It's a 3-month deal. All right, it's a quarterly package right there that basically gives you access to the real-time alerts and scanners for a much cheaper price of $66.67 per month, charged quarterly. So you got that going on right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So there we go. There we go. There we go. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. All right. There we go. There we go. Wonderful. Okay. So let's take a look. ELPW. ELPW. Let's take a look at ELPW over here. Let's get that going on right here. All right. Refresh that. There we go. Beautiful. Come on. Come on. ELPW, by the way, is a 61% is up 61%. China stock has some unconfirmed Q2 earnings due in 14 days on August 18th before the market opens. So we got that going on for them. That's what we got going on for them right there. ELPW, not showing me the chart right now. So we're going to see what happens there. Has a 14 million float, 214 million volume. So ELPW moving around on some very nice volume right there. The float's a bit heavy, but nothing crazy. ELPW, I'll say ELPW is up 65% because it is. But other than that, I don't have the chart in front of me right now, so I'm not going to mess around there. So ELPW up 65%, up 65%. There we go. That's what we got going on right there. That is what we have going on. PLTG, PLTG. All right, give me 1 second. 1 second. Come on. Come on. PLTG. Come on. It's being a pain in the neck. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Right there. Hold on 1 sec. Let me put this over here. Alright, actually, give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. Having a little technical difficulty. Give me 1 sec right here. Alright, 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go fix this real quick. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. So, here we are. Here we are. Yes. Alright, so the chart is currently being a bit of a pain in the butt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at these stonks right over here. Alright, got to keep an eye on the stonks right over here. And I'm actually going to take a look at the news. We're going to take a look at the news, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're going to do right here. Alright. So, let's take a look right here. Alright. So, TNMG. We're going to take a look and see if there's any news on TNMG. And yes, there is, ladies and gentlemen. There is some news on TNMG. TNMG, which is the leading gainer of today, has news that TNL Media Gene's Infobond subsidiary. Up, wait, hold on. The charts came back. The charts came back. Yay! Ah, it just did its thing. Give me a second. Yeah. All right, there we go. Now we could go back to business. You know what I mean? Now we could go back to business. By the way, you like the background, ladies and gentlemen? You like the background we got going on there? I like the background, man. I like the background. The background looks nice. The background looks schmexy. You know what I mean? It looks schmexy. Looks kind of schnazzy, if I do say so myself. All right. Oh, actually, hold on. And come on. Come on. Come on back. Come on. There we go. All right. Finally, the chart has come back. All right. It's like The Rock. Finally, the chart has come back to the Microcap Morning Show. I don't know, I'm making a wrestling reference. I'm making a WWE reference. Okay, all right, all right. Don't judge me. Don't judge you. Why? Don't judge me. Don't bully me either. All right. I know some people think AEW is better. I know. They're both really fun as far as I'm concerned. Okay. All right. All right. Let me actually just get it up here. Hold on. TNMG. TNMG. Back to Bee's Niece as usual. Back to Bee's Niece. TNL Media Gene shares are trading higher after the company announced its wholly owned subsidiary Infoban entered into a partnership with Miro or Miro, whichever one you want to call it. All right, and let's take a look over here. It shot up, bop, right over here. Little bit of a descending, a little bit of a pennant actually right over here. So we got that going on. Where's my RSI at? Where's my VWAP at? Hold on, I gotta find my VWAP now. VWAP. Where's my VWAP? There we go. There's my baby right there. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. Ooh, let me get rid of that one. I don't need that one. Alright, get that. Make it nice and purple. Make it nice and purple now. Yeah, that's the stuff right there. Make it nice and purple. Gonna get my 9 EMA. Give me 1 second. Let me get my 9 EMA. 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 Yes. Let me get my baby right here. Hold on 1 second. Where's my baby? No, you cannot. Yep, there. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Have to fix my baby. Give me 1 second right here. All right, let me get let me get the RSI. RSI. There we go. There's my baby right there. Let me go fix that right there. Let me go fix my RSI right here. All right. Where's my thing? There's my baby. Okay, so get this nice over here. Get it nice and big over here. Pause. Get the upper limit. The upper limit is going to be there, right there. And then the lower limit, middle limit is going to be like right here. Yeah, little. There we go. Have it nice and color coded for myself, right here. And then the lower limit's going to be this big one right here. Wanga. Wunderbar. Wunderbar. Okay, so we got that going on, ladies and gentlemen. So TNMG, as of now, back to business as usual. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, TNMG had a bit of a descending way, a bit of a pennant. It looks like it's actually curling off that pennant right now. Up 120%, 120% right there. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. All right, beautiful. Okay, let's take a look over here. TNMG. TNMG, as of now, had a nice high of 148%. Looks like it's trying to curl off the pennant right now. Broke 75% right there. Broke 75%. So TNMG broke 75 cents. Broke the VWAP and resistance lines at 75 cents, as well as the pennant, and needs to break the resistance line at 84 cents for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. That's what we got going on right there. TNMG, TNMG, now up 121%. That was how much it ran up there. Needs to break that resistance at 84 cents, then the high day at $1 for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. There we go. There we go. All right, let's see what we got here. ENSC, ENSC. Science Biosciences shares are trading higher after the company received a U.S. patent notice of compositions comprising enzyme cleavable amphetamine, amphetamine prodrugs and inhibitors thereof. All right, they also have some unconfirmed Q2 earnings due in 13 days on August 17th after the market close. So they have that going on as well. Let's take a look here. Let's zoom in the room. All right, so they have the shot up here. They formed a bit of a pennant right over here. All right, and needs to break the VWAP at 47 cents for it to be absolutely schmexy to mya. All right, so there we go. ENSC needs to break above the pennant, which it is. It's curling above the pennant. ENSC curling above the pennant and needs to break above the VWAPA at 47 cents for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. There we go. There we go. Needs to break that area right there. All right. That's ENSC. Let's take a look at NUWE. NUWE is on the uptrend as of now. On the uptrend as of now. Let's get a share party going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a share party going. Give me 1 second. Let's break this pennant right here. Has to break this pennant. Needs to break this pennant right over here for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. All right. Has to hold above the VWAP, which is currently at $2.02. Has to hold above the pennant. Needs to break above 208 and hold above there, and then break 220. Has to break 220 right now, but it is forming a bit of a top tail. We don't like the top tails. We like the bottom tails, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we like right there. So, as of now, that is what we like. Let's see. Let's take a look over here. Has to hold above 208. Has to break 220. So, NUWE needs to break the pennant and the VWAPA at $2.20 for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. That's NUWG, PLTG. Let's take a look over here. PLTG, not schmexy to mya. Not schmexy to mya. Alright, reason being is because if you take a look over here, alright, you got bop right there, chop over there, chop. Alright, and more chop. More chop than the butcher shop right there. Look at that. Lots of choppiness on PLTG right there. PLTG, not schmexy to me. Alright, PLTG, very choppy, very choppy. Unknown float as of now. PLTG, choppy. Price action, not schmexy to mya, not schmexy to mya. So there we go. That's what we got going on right there. Alright. Alright, let's get a share party going on. Let's get to 800. Let's get to 800, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on 1 sec. Alright. Alright. There we go. Okay. Beautiful. And ladies and gentlemen, if you got any requests for stocks you want us to take a look at, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Put it in the chat. Alright, let's take a look over here. Let's take a look. Alright. Alright. Hold on 1 second. Oh my god, I just remembered it's Tuesday. Wow. I thought it was Monday. Oh, 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. Alright, TNMG. TNMG. Let's take a look at that one. Again, TNMG. Let's see how it's doing. TNMG actually did somewhat curl above the pennant right there. It is above the VWAP as of now, as well as the 75% resistance line. Has to break above 84 cents for it to be really schmexy to me. Again, they're moving up on news that TNMG shares are trading higher after the company announced its wholly owned subsidiary Infoban entered a partnership with Miro. Right, so they got that going on right there. All right, Kingpin put up 2 taco emojis. There you go, Kingpin, my man, right there with the tacos. What type of tacos you having, Kingpin? What type of tacos you gonna be having? I know what I'm having. I know what I'm having tonight. I already know what time it is. You know what? You know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is. I know what time it is. Watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna have me some steak tacos. Chop them up nice, nice. You know what I mean? Nice steak tacos, some chicken tacos. You can never go wrong with chicken tacos. Never go wrong with that, right? Sometimes if you want to bend the rules a little bit, you could have nachos. You can, because they're basically nachos are just tacos, but chopped up. Really, that's really what nachos are when you think about it. Like when you really think about it, and they're like, oh, but what about the lettuce? You can put lettuce on nachos. Who says you can't? There's only one rule. There's one rule when it comes to tacos or nachos. Ready? Do not put pineapple or any other fruit in that. Please, for the love of God. I've seen people do it. Please, for the love of God, don't do that. Don't do that. It's nasty. Why? You have perfectly salted, you have like perfectly salted and seasoned meat, and before anybody says, "Ooh, a tomato is a fruit," a tomato does not taste half as sweet as any regular fruit. It's a fruit, you're right, but no. It's like the mustard on your burger thing. It's like, no, no. Unless it's Big Mac sauce, no. No. There are rules, man. There are rules. There are rules that must be upheld. You do not just put regular mustard on your burger. It's heresy. I know Bobo was about to be like, "Excuse me, I beg your pardon. I beg your finest pardon, good sir." Look. I make exceptions for the mustard on your burger rule when it's in a Big Mac sauce. That's it. Otherwise, no. Paradigm says Dijon. Paradigm. Now. Bobo Beef says a little mango habanero salsa on that taco is nice. No! Bad Bobo. No. He's being Bobo Beevil again. And no, do not blaspheme the mustard. What? I'm not blaspheming the mustard. I'm just saying it's good when it's in, like, a Big Mac sauce, not not just plain. It's like, I don't know about it. Like on a hot dog, okay, I can understand it, but like on a on a burger, straight up, that's not me hating on mustard. I like mustard. I like it with my pretzel. I like it with my hot dog. I like it in Big Mac sauce. That's about it. Like other than that, it's like, you know what I mean? Like why? And then mango on no mango anything on a taco is heresy. Let's just stop right there. All right, habanero, okay. Mango, no. No. We don't do that here. We do not, Bobo. We do not. We do not put fruits that aren't like tomatoes on the taco, Bobo. We do not do that here. Maybe lime, maybe, and that is pushing it. All right. Lime is pushing it, okay? All right? You could make an exception for lime. That's about it. Lime and tomatoes. Those are like the only 2 things that really are the exception to the rule. All right? But okay, there is an exception for lemon only if it's a shrimp taco or a fish taco. Then you can make exceptions to the rule. But you know the rules, and so do I. There we go. I'm trolling Bobo a little bit. Honestly, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, put whatever you like on it, man. I don't mind. I don't mind either way. I'm just joking around. I'm having fun. You're going to make me summon the dark side over, aren't you? I mean, look, mango though, Bobo. Come on, Bobo. You got to know that that's like pineapple on a pizza, man. You don't do that. I know I'm gonna get so many comments for the pineapple pizza remark. I just know it. Oh, multiple people are typing. Oh no, what have I done? All right, ladies and gentlemen, pineapple on the pizza or no pineapple on the pizza? We might as well have that conversation. You know what I mean? TNMG currently consolidating just above 75 cents, has to break the 84-cent mark. It's a bit consolidated just above 75 cents though, has to break above 84. So that's TNMG right there. TNMG. Boba was gonna put like a whole mango on a taco. I'm gonna be like, you are the chosen one. It was said that you would destroy the heresy, not join it. Bring balance to the force, not leave it in darkness. Yes, I memorized that whole script. Oh, it's iconic, man. It's an iconic movie moment with Star Wars. Okay, all right. TNMG consolidated needs volume to break the 84-cent line right there. Resistance line. Now there's one thing though I will say, and this was kind of something that like made me scratch my head. Friend of mine, Mexican American guy, very wonderful gentleman. He said to me that if you put like spicy chili flakes on a mango, that it was good. I'm like, what? That's a thing that people do? It's like a spicy chili flake thing that you put on a mango to give it like a sweet yet tangy taste. I'm like, I don't know if you do that. He's like, yeah, man, it's a traditional thing for. I'm like, really? I was not aware of that. Cinnamon on what paradigm? What now? Cinnamon on scrambled eggs. Paradigm. Paradigm. Why? Why? I can't believe you've done this. What war crimes are happening at that paradigm? Paradigm. That's a war crime. What? You don't put cinnamon on scrambled. That don't. Cinnamon is for French toast. Paradigm. No. We do not put it on scrambled eggs. What? No. You obviously never had mango habanero salsa. Hot and sweet is awesome, and no pineapple on pizza. My man, okay? My man. I've had mango habanero salsa. I don't know, man. It was too sweet for me. Maybe that's because I have a high spice tolerance, but it was a little too sweet for me. Like, I like the sweet and spicy combo, but mango and habanero? Really? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what the like. It, I I don't even. I'm still taken aback by the cinnamon on scrambled eggs thing. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Paradigm. You know I got nothing but love for you now. But that's kind of a war crime now. Okay, I'm gonna need somebody to check the Geneva Convention on that one. That I'm gonna need somebody to check the Geneva Convention on that one. Oh my god. She said, "Bro, try it. A light dust." I don't like cinnamon. There's that too. You got to remember that. I also don't like cinnamon. I'm not a cinnamon guy. That little bit of DBL Nix Lord. I do not like cinnamon. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't like cinnamon. I don't like it. It just I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it, man. I, do, I don't like it. I don't like bananas either, man. They're like two foods I do not like. Actually, three. I don't like peanut butter. I don't like bananas. I do not like cinnamon. I don't like those three things. I don't like those three things. I don't like it. I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I, like 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 the smell of cinnamon. I don't mind. I don't mind the smell of cinnamon. I don't like the taste of it. I don't like it. Paradigm says, banana, peanut butter, cinnamon pancakes. You're missing out. No, no. In my opinion, I am not missing out. I am not missing out on that. I am not missing out on that. But I know that there is one thing. I know that there's one thing right there that people actually do have with mangoes, and a friend of mine actually told me about this. The same Mexican American friend that I was telling you guys about. He said that there was one called mango nata, a mango nata, which basically it's like a frozen treat, and it's made from mangoes, chamoy, chili lime seasoning, tajin, and it's blended with like an ice and like a lime thing, and it's basically like a kind of sweet, kind of spicy type of ice flavor. It seems interesting. That I'll try a little bit. I don't know. Bobo Beef says cinnamon on eggs. Is that a British thing? I like cinnamon just fine, but that's different. No, no, no. Paradigm's American. She's just committing war crimes. I don't. I don't. I wasn't ready for cinnamon on scrambled eggs. I was not ready for that conversation. I didn't wake up. Paradigm. I woke up this morning. I was not ready for that conversation. I'm just gonna let me just stop you right there. I was not ready for that conversation. I was not ready for cinnamon on scrambled eggs. I was not. When I woke up this morning, washed my face, brushed my teeth, I wasn't ready for the conversation of cinnamon on eggs. Paradigm says, "I declare war." You're already committing a war crime, and the war ain't even started. I wasn't ready for cinnamon on scrambled eggs. I did not wake up this morning ready for that. I was prepared for many a thing. I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that conversation. All right. Oh, they out here committing war crimes in the chat. They out here committing war crimes in the chat. Even Bobo said, "Hold on, what?" Oh Lord, that's amazing. Hang on, let me just. I wasn't ready for that conversation. All right. Let me just put this over here. ELPW, Elong Powered Holding Limited. All right. This is a China stock right over here. Needs to break above the pennant right over here. Needs to break above the 17-cent resistance line as well, which is the VWAP right there. For it to be so much messy to me, has to break that area right there. Paradigm says expanding your reality. No. That is not expansion. That is manifest destiny at worst. At best, I don't know what to say. Look, Paradigm. I am still beside myself about the whole dusting of cinnamon on a egg. I wasn't ready for that. Like hot sauce, okay. Soy sauce, all right. Mayo, weird, but okay, I guess. I mean, if you're making like a egg salad, yes. Paradigm's like XOXO. Oh, thank you, Paradigm. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Danke Shane, Danke Shane. For real though, I hope you and your son are doing well. I hope you guys are having a good day. Uh, I'm just Yeah, no, ketchup works. Ketchup works with like but it has to be like an omelet normally for me. You could. It has to be like you know what it is? Have you ever tried a Japanese style omelet? That, like that with the ketchup, that hits different. It hits different. It just do be hitting different. It's nice and fluffy. It's got like some cheese. You know what I mean? It's got some cheese. It's got some spices, a little bit of spices on it, and like some ketchup on top. You know. Sometimes they write things on it. Yeah, that's always good. And put rice in it too. Never. I'll have to try. You should definitely try that. That is amazing. They make the omelets different. Friends of mine actually were like, because I do have friends of mine who are Japanese American. They said, dude, just you gotta try this. You gotta try this, man. You gotta try it. Because their families make it, right? And their families make they made the omelet so fluffy. I'm like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff right there. That's the stuff right there. I've never had an omelet so good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never had like a better omelet. That was probably the best omelet I ever had in my life. Maybe put some black pepper in that cinnamon. I might. What? Cinnamon and pepper. Bobo. Bobo. I don't think that's gonna be healthy. Paradigm said I just googled it. They put cinnamon in it. I did not taste cinnamon in that. Those yeah, tamagoyaki does not use cinnamon. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. They don't put no cinnamon in one of those. I don't. I know for a fact. I had to Google that up. I'm like, I know very well. I did not just taste a war crime. Bobo says Japanese omelets are so good. Yes, sir. Andrew says good morning. Hello. Always talk about food. Let's do a food channel. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Andrew Andrew says you guys should do a food channel. Yeah, most definitely. Probably something in the. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Big foodie, me and you know, me and everybody else. What would you guys think about something like that if it were to be a thing? What would you guys think about that? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, like a food and travel type deal. If that were to ever become a thing, what would you guys think about that stuff? I don't know. I don't know. I like the idea. You know, I like the idea. We'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. ELPW needs to break the VWAPA at 17 cents for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. There we go. But yeah, no. What would you guys think of something like that if we were to do like a food and travel deal at one point? Bobo Beef says the idea of a foodie channel has been floated. Yeah, it has. It has. It has. I'm not against it. I'm not against the idea. I am not against the idea by any stretch of the imagination, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not against that idea. I think it'd be kind of fun. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We shall see. We shall see. Because me, I'm a big foodie and I love travel, so you know. Andrew says you have the personality for a food channel. Cool, calm, collective. Yeah, nah, man. I'm just vibing. I'm just vibing. That's what I like to do. I like to vibe. The Coach Meister General, he likes to vibe too. He's vibing all the time. You know what I mean? TNMG, by the way, hold on one second, is trying to curl a little bit. Still consolidated, but trying to curl a little bit towards the 84-cent resistance line. So we'll see what happens there. TNMG still consolidated and trying to move towards the resistance line at 84 cents right there. But yeah, no, we Coach and I are big into foodie stuff right there. We actually did do quite a lot of traveling. We have done quite a lot of traveling before, so yeah, not out of the realm of possibilities. Not out of the realm of possibilities. The bell. What you think, Coach?
Absolutely.
Hey, Coach says absolutely. We honestly ain't against the idea. Hey, we like. Andrew says yes, sir. Good vibes. That's the key. It means you could do anything. Hey, we always got them good vibes. We have fun. We chill. We have a good old time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we do. That's the epitome of what we do. You know, Paradigm, she knows us outside the stream, and she knows we just vibing. We just vibing. That's what we do. Yeah. We just vibing and stuff like that, man. That's what we do. We like to vibe. We like to chill. We did do some food stuff in the past, I think. But yeah, no, it was always fun. It was always fun to just chill. Bobo Beef says doubles will provide the cool, Coach and I will provide the fire. Yeah. All right, and the market's open. Ding ding, market's open. Yes, sir, Andrew. Yes, sir. All right, so let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. All right. BLZE?
BLZ. AMIX moving, actually.
Ooh, all right. Let's take a look at AMIX first. AMIX, ooh, nice curl. Had a nice little curl over there, a little curly Q. Let's get that over here. Boom. A little bit of a descending wedge over here. Boom. And AMIX curled its way on up. Curled its way on up right now off the descending wedge right there. Broke the $5.81 resistance at the VWAP right there. Broke the VWAP at $5.81 and is curling its way on up. All right. Let's see there. Boom. All right, curling its way on up right there. AMIX, 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 curling up off the descending wedge, and the VWAP needs to break the $6.45 resistance line right there. That's AMIX, AMIX, and ladies and gentlemen, if you have any tickers you want us to take a look at, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat right there, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take a look at BLZE. BLZE moving on low volume. Let's take a look over there. Heavy float. It did have a bit of a price spike on low volume right there, so I will keep that in the count right there. Backblaze shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q2 financial results and raised their fiscal year 2026 sales guidance above estimates. Also, the company did issue Q3 sales guidance above estimates as well, so they have that going on right there. Again, it is moving on some low volume right there, on an uptrend, but again, it's on low volume right there. So BLZE on the uptrend on low volume right there. Actually, speaking of, let's take a look over here. Let's get some support and resistance lines over here. Support and resistance lines. Boom, right there. Has to hold above has to break above 22.55 right there. Needs volume to break the resistance line at 22.55 right there. All right, Andrew says, what do you think of feed? FEED? Let's take a look. So, NView Medical Inc., this one actually is up 14% as of now. Unconfirmed Q2 earnings are due in 14 days on August 18th after the market closed, so it's got that going on right there, but it does have some very choppy price action right here. So let's take a look. Very choppy over here, very choppy over here, all right? And also choppiness over here. There's a lot of indecisive wicks, which indicates low volume right there. All right, so that's the thing. We're going to take a look at the float. Float is 5 million. Volume, on the other hand, is 380,000. So 380,000 is the volume, 5 million float. The float is reasonable, but the volume is very, very low. So FEED, as of now, low volume, very, very choppy. in terms of price action and indecisive wicks right there. Needs volume. FEED needs volume. All right. Choppy price action and indecisive wicks right there. Needs volume, ladies and gentlemen. Needs volume right there. TNMG. Let's see how TNMG is holding up. TNMG. Oh my, it's curling up a little bit. There we go. It's broke above the resistance line, but it looks like it's pulling back a little bit. Needs to remain friends with the trend and fully break above 84 cents. TNMG hit, all right, moved up to 142%. TNMG hit 142% and curled its way on up. Needs to break the resistance at 84 cents and remain friends with the trend, but it doesn't look like it's going to do that. At least not now. Yeah, it had a reversal. Yeah, had a bit of a reversal there, ladies and gentlemen. Had a bit of a reversal. Huh?
Pretty odd reversal.
Yeah, it's below VWAP now. Big old reversal.
AMX resumed.
AMX resumed, though. Thank you, Andrew says thank you for sharing feed. Yeah. Let's take a look at AMX over here. AMX needs to break, right? Broke above $6.45. All right, AMX over there needs to break above $6.45. Has to hold above it for it to be schmexy to me. Looks like it's curling its way on up. AMX up 94%, 95% actually. AMX up 95%. Hold on. Let me just put this here. All right. All right, all right, all right. There we go. Okay. Oh my, wow. AMIX just shot up to 101%. AMIX 101% right there. Curled its way on up, testing the high a day. AMIX testing the high a day, just shot up to 101%. AMIX shot up 101%. Testing the high a day at $7.37. All right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. That's nice. That is very, very nice, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. There we go. Woo! All right. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, all right, all right. But yeah. Yeah. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I like that idea, though. I do like that idea, like some food and travel type stuff down the line. I'll look into it. See what I think. See what we think about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty much it for me. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different. Just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Andrew says WLDS, wearable device is another. We have recently split, got caught in it, but we like the company. All right, let me take a look at WLDS. Let's take a look and see how it is before we go. All right, so WLDS, again, has a similar problem, has a similar issue over here where it does have that indecisive wick pattern over there and more indecisive wicks over here. So, again, it needs more volume. It is an Israeli stock. This is an Israeli stock as of now. Let's take a look over here. Let's put this over here. Boom. Let me take a look right here. That way it doesn't mess with the chart. All right. Float is 2 million and change. It's reasonable. Volume is 102,000. So heavy float, not even heavy float. It's just light volume right now. So needs more volume. WLDS needs more volume. If anything, has a bit of an uptrend off that. WLDS on an uptrend on low volume. Needs. All right. Showed signs of choppy price action and indecisive wicks. Needs more volume for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. So that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on for WLDS. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. Remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join is in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different. And the early bird gets the cash. The moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check us out on our YouTube channel at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money, where we do all sorts of live streaming, stock reviews, stock analysis, long-form videos, short-form videos, all sorts of fun stuff like that. Be sure to check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check it out. And, of course, be sure to check us out on our X.com, a.k.a. Twitter, at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money, where we do all sorts of live streaming there, as well as stock reviews and stock analysis. We got all that stuff going on, so be sure to check that out. Ladies and gentlemen, you can also find us on our wonderful, oh, hold on one second. You can find us on our Twitch at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money, where we do live streaming there as well. You can find us on our Facebook at Coaching Money, where we do all sorts of live streaming, stock reviews, and stock analysis. And, of course, you can find us on our TikTok, Tiki-Taki, a.k.a. the Tac. The Tac. You can find us there at DBL Nicks. At DBLNICKS, and the screen name is Coach Nick Money. Money. Yes. So be sure to check us out there, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check us out there. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you could find us all just chilling out on our Instagram and Threads, where we do lots of stock reviews and stock analysis at Coaching Money. At Coach Nick Money. All right? So we got that going on. And, ladies and gentlemen, of course, stay tuned, all right, for our wonderful upcoming episode of Power Play, hosted by the legend himself, Coach Nick Money, as he traverses the stock market prior to the Power Hour. And what he likes to do is he likes to take a look at the stocks that are moving around prior to the Power Hour. He likes to give his honest review and analysis, so he likes to keep an eye on those things right there. He likes to keep an eye on those, and he basically just keeps an eye on them, and then after that lets them simmer on high heat with a little bit of paprika, a little bit of sazon, a little bit of cumin, a little bit of turmeric, all that good stuff right there. He basically just chills and does that stuff. So, yeah, that's what he likes to do. Just chills out and watches the stonks right there. He watches the stonks right there. So that's what he does. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what he does right there. And while he does that, he likes to get some dubs for the community in Fortnite. He plays some Fortnite and gets some dubs for the community right there. So that's what he likes to do right there. That's what he likes to do. All right. Quickly before we wrap up, if you guys have been watching and you're serious about trading small caps, don't just sit on the outside trying to piece it together. We've got a 4-day full access pass for only $9.99 right there, as well as a 3-month pass, which we got going on right there as well. We got a 3-month pass that is chilling there at a nice discounted rate of $66.67 per month, charged quarterly. So we got that going on, and it's full access. So you come inside, you get to see how we actually operate live. You get to see how we structure trade ideas, how we map levels, how we think about risk, how we handle momentum. You get access to the next day early watch list, as well as the 24/7 market news flow, which is actually on the right-hand side of the screen, complete with hyperlinks to the actual article, a synopsis of what goes on within said article, and of course hyperlinks to the ticker that is affiliated with the news within said article, so you can learn more about it and do your own due diligence. You also get access to the pre-market, regular hours, and after-hours scanners, complete with the ticker, price, volume, float, change in percentage, whether the stock is moving up or down, as well as the ticker that is currently being looked at right there in the hyperlinks as well. So all you really have to do is just click on them right there. All you have to do is click on them and just learn more about them. That's it. There's your due diligence. And of course, you get Catalyst context built right in. All sorts of cool stuff there. You get access to the ticker tape built to catch stocks just when they're starting to heat up or before they go parabolic. Also complete with hyperlinks as well, so you can do your own due diligence there. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we don't do noise, we do structure. And if that's how you want to approach the market, grab the 4-day pass or the 3-month pass and come see it live. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comments section. And when you come in, let us know you saw us on the stream. We'd love to hear from you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for me. It's Double Nicks. I love you guys. I'll see you guys at 1:30 p.m. for Power Play. Much love, everybody. Take care of yourself.